I don't care how long you've been carrying, at some point you've definitely bought a holster that you now regret. I bought an entire box of them. Today I'm gonna drag them all out and show you exactly why these are terrible and hopefully keep you from making the same mistakes that I did. This is my box of shame. Let's talk about what it taught me. I could easily shoot myself, and that's not good. That's really not what you want. What is up, guys, and welcome to Modern Protector, where we talk about the skills, the tools, and the mindset that you need to protect yourself and your family. If you haven't yet, don't forget to like and subscribe down below for all things concealed carry. All right, let's get into this. So the first one here is the classic that I think just about every new concealed carrier starts with, and that is the Uncle Mike's holster. This was the first holster that I ever got for my Glock 19. Way back in the day when I was just a pup, didn't know anything about concealed carry or carrying safely. And the reason that these are so popular is because you can find them anywhere. Any Cabela's, Bass Pro Shop, even Walmart carried these for a while. And they're absolutely awful, but they're convenient to just grab off this shelf. And I want to say back in the day, I paid like $8 for this.
Wow! That's a low price!
So yeah. Let me show you exactly why this is awful. So this is a blue gun. It's just a plastic replica of a Glock 19. It doesn't have any working parts or anything, but it's the same size and shape. So the reason that these are just fundamentally unsafe, I can get to the trigger accidentally just by grabbing the gun. My finger can slide right there into the trigger guard and potentially put pressure on the trigger. Not only that, but I can touch the trigger and apply pressure through the holster itself. Which is awful. The other thing that makes this one really unsafe is that it collapses every time you draw the gun. So you've got this against your body, your belt goes over the top of it. As soon as you draw your gun, the holster collapses. Now, the reason that this is a huge safety issue, in a real world encounter where you have to draw your gun, you don't know what the scenario is going to be like. You can't reholster with one hand when your holster collapses. Let's say you're on the phone with 911. Let's say you've actually discharged your firearm and you're in the race to 911. You're on the phone and you've got your gun out because the guy is down, but you're not sure if he's completely done fighting. Again, you can't holster that gun with one hand. You have to dig around and end up pointing the gun at yourself, or you have to use your other hand to open the holster in order to get it in there.
Good God, man!
It is not safe to have a holster like this. It's just not. I guess what I'm saying is don't buy this garbage. Okay, the next one that I bought that was a complete garbage purchase was this Don't Tread on Me holster company little papoose thing. So this was my solution at the time for carrying without a gun belt, carrying in gym shorts or sweatpants or something like that. And I bought this one because it said like small to medium sized guns, and I had a Glock 43 at the time, and I thought, great, it'll work for the 19 as well. Same reasons for this one why it's unsafe. I can get my finger on the trigger and I could easily shoot this gun through the holster. So if I go to draw it or I'm trying to get a good grip and I grab it wrong, I could easily shoot myself. And that's not good. That's really not what you want.
Pow, right in the kisser.
It also collapses on itself. So it goes inside your pants, so it's gonna collapse when you draw the gun, and good luck trying to get this one out and get your gun safely back in. But if it doesn't cover the trigger guard completely, it is not safe at all, so it's garbage. So this is the next one that I purchased for the Glock 19, because I do think that I realized in the back of my mind, I don't like that the trigger is that accessible for those. And so this one was another cheap one. This is a Versa Carry, dirt cheap, maybe 20, 30 bucks. And this one is made to be universal fit for all mid-sized guns. Here's a clue: if anything says it's universal, it's not gonna fit any gun well. It's just not. It means it's not made specifically for any gun. It's made for them to make the most amount of money possible. They're not in it to keep you safe. So this one does cover the trigger guard. I can't get to the trigger by sliding my finger in or by touching it on the outside. So woohoo for that. The gun shifts around like crazy and the bottom of the gun is sticking out. So that means if I've got it on my side or in appendix position and I bump up against something and it knocks that gun up, even just a little bit, that pressure, then that trigger is completely exposed, which is not safe. And this one also, you've got your belt on, it completely collapses on itself when you draw it. So that's garbage too.
This is garbage.
This one might be pretty controversial. So this is a leather holster. It's an outside the waistband and it is really stiff and sturdy. So it's not flimsy like that one. It doesn't collapse on itself. The reason I bought this, let's be honest, I started watching Justified and that is not a show you want to watch when it comes to accurate gunfighting or gun safety, but man, does he look cool. And he carries a holster similar to this. So I literally bought this leather holster because I was like, man, that holster's cool. I'm gonna get me one like that. So the main problem with this one is the texture of the leather itself. And I know a lot of you guys are gonna say that you have leather holsters and you're okay with using leather holsters. I'm really not, and I wanna tell you why.
How dare you!
With leather holsters, as far as retention, you pretty much have two options. The two options are too tight or too loose. Once the holster gets loosened up enough where the gun will come out easily, then it's not tight enough to really hold the gun in securely. The same is true on the opposite end. If it's tight enough where I'm like, okay, that gun is in there, it's secure. Well, if I've got pressure on my belt, this is outside the waistband, so the belt goes on the inside, but there's pressure on the belt there, then not only is it hard to get out in the beginning, but that entire draw is stiff to get that gun out because the leather is really snug up against it and there's give in it. So it does not want to let that gun go. So that's the main problem I have with this type of holster. Do I think these are awful, unsafe, terrible holsters and no one should own them? No, but I don't think they're ideal for everyday carry, for concealed carry, because that retention issue is like just enough that you can't get it exactly the way you want it. There is no adjustable retention with leather holsters. So I'm not saying it's garbage, but definitely not the best. Whoops. These next two were actually sent to me for free by a company that were like, hey, can you do an honest review and check these holsters out? This was when I first started YouTube. And I knew by looking at them, like, I don't think this is gonna go well for you. But I was like, sure, send them, I'll take a look at them, I'll be honest in the review. Needless to say, I've never heard from them since.
I'm sorry.
So there's a ton of companies that make holsters like this. This is called a pancake style holster, just because it's big and flat and the gun goes in there like that. The main issue with this one, again, is that it collapses every time you draw the gun. So if it's on my side, I'm gonna have to dig around and point the gun at myself to try to get it back in the holster, or I'm gonna have to use my fingers to open it up and muzzle myself in order to get the gun back in the holster. It's also just awkward the way it sits because it sits so far down in order to cover the trigger that I can't really get a grip on the front of the gun without like pulling the gun out a little bit. It's weird and it's terribly unsafe. So this one's garbage too. And then we've got the classic belly band holster.
Oh, brother!
I get questions on this one all the time, and I probably need to make more videos talking about how awful this one is, but this is a terrible setup. So all the same reasons that we've talked about, right? You put the gun in here and I can easily get to that trigger right there and apply pressure and shoot the gun through this holster.
Good God!
And it collapses on itself. When you draw the gun out, that is going to, you know, pull straight into your body and very unsafe getting the gun back in the holster. The other wacky thing about this one is it's got this strap that goes over, which really, I guess, is supposed to solve the issue of retention, that the gun's not just gonna fall out. But the problem is you can't draw the gun. Like, you can't do that one-handed. You have to pull it down like that and then get to the gun and then pull it out. And if you don't have the strap on like that, then yeah, the gun could just, you know, potentially just fall out of the holster because there's nothing really holding it in there. So this one's terrible. I hate that these are as popular as they are, but that's just the world that we live in because we don't like to spend money. And once you've already bought a concealed carry gun, you don't want to spend a ton of money on a holster. You're really risking injury and possibly death by carrying holsters like this that are just completely unsafe. Garbage. So if all of these holsters are completely unsafe, then what type of holster should you be carrying? In order to carry safely every day, you need to be carrying in a Kydex holster. Now, Kydex holsters are basically made of a type of plastic that's really solid and durable, and your gun clicks into place. Now, most Kydex holsters are made specifically for the gun model. So that means it fits your gun very well. Your gun will click into place, but as soon as you put pressure into getting that gun out, then the gun will come right out of the holster. So it's easy to get to and get the gun out of the holster consistently, but it essentially locks into place with that click, and it is in there really solid. It also covers the trigger guard completely with that hard Kydex, so you cannot get to the trigger guard at all. This one is one of the ones that I carry every day, and it is from Eclipse Holsters, the sponsor of today's video. Eclipse Holsters not only makes safe, solid Kydex holsters, but they come in tons of different colors and patterns. You can change the belt clips, you can change the washers, and you can get all kinds of crazy different patterns. And no matter what color or pattern that you go with, they ship in 3 days or less. I've been to their factory and seen the way they make these holsters, and guys, they have so much attention to detail and they care so much about you as the customer. So if you need a good, safe holster, then check them out at eclipseholsters.com and thank them for sponsoring today's video. I know it's easy to not want to spend money on good, safe gear, but safety is super important when it comes to carrying a gun every day. Please don't make the mistake of buying cheap, crappy gear that is unsafe just because it's cheap. Invest a little bit more and get a holster that's actually gonna last and actually gonna keep you safe. If you gain value from this, then don't forget to like and subscribe down below. And until next time, be alert, stand firm in your faith, be strong, be courageous, and let all that you do be done in love. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.